In English, family members are called relatives. You have an immediate or nuclear family and an extended family. Your immediate family includes your parents, your father, your mother, and your siblings, your brothers and sisters. Your extended family includes all of the people in both your father and mother's family. My relatives are my parents. I am their child. My father, also known as Dad, Daddy, or Papa. My mother, known as Mom, Mommy, Mama, or Mom, or Ma. Siblings, we have the same father and mother. Brother, a male, sometimes called bro. A sister, female, sometimes called sis. Uncle, the uncle is a male sibling of my parent. Uncles are called by their first names, Uncle Joe, Uncle Pete, and aunts or aunts. They're also called by their first name and they're a sibling of one of my parents, like Aunt Mary, Aunt Josie, etc. Grandparents are the parents of my parents. My grandfather, the male, is called Grandpa, Pop, or Gramps. My grandmother, female, called Grandma or Grandmom. Cousins are the child of my aunt or uncle. And they're called by their first names, like my cousin Joe, my cousin Pete, my cousin Jessica. And a spouse is my husband or wife. They're called by their first name, like my wife Jane or my husband Joe. And child is a relative to whom I am the parent. My daughter Jessica or my son Peter. My nephew is a male child of my sibling, my brother's children or my sister's children. My niece, the female child of my sibling. They're called by their first names, like my nephew Joe or my niece Sarah. Grandchild is the child of my child. My grandson is the male, and he's known by his first name, like my grandson Warren, or my granddaughter, the female, my granddaughter Jane. If you'd like to improve your English speaking skills, Grandpa Grammar's English speaking workshop is just the thing for you. You can improve your English. You can speak better English. With Grandpa Grammar's English speaking workshop, you can speak better English quickly. You can speak excellent English. English is a bridge to open up the world to you. Better English is the key career success with better English. With Grandpa Grammar's English Speaking Workshop. Click the link in the description to find out more. Better English now. My great-grandparent is the parent of my grandparent. My great-grandfather is called great-grandpa, and my great-grandmother is called great-grandma. In-laws, parents of my spouse. My father-in-law is either known as his first name, Joe or Pete, or Dad, and my mother-in-law, known by her first name, Mary or Mom. My brother-in-law, known by his first name, like my brother-in-law Sal, or my sister-in-law Jane. They're the siblings of my spouse. My son-in-law, known by his first name, like my son-in-law Jack, is the spouse of my son or daughter. My daughter-in-law or my son-in-law, known by their first names. Now, ex-spouses. Ex-husband, known by his first name, is my previous spouse we're divorced. My ex-wife, known by her first name, like my ex-wife Lori. My half-brother, which we know my half-brother Joe, is a sibling born to one of my parents who has a new spouse. My half-sister is known by her first name, like my half-sister Lorraine. Step-parents are known by their first name, like my stepdad Joe or my stepmother Jessica. Stepchild, known by their first names, like my stepchild is a child of my spouse from a previous relationship and not my biological child. My stepson Joe or my stepdaughter Mary. Note, in a family, a generation means all the people at one stage of the family. For example, your parents are one generation, Your grandparents are another generation. You and your siblings are one generation. And your children and their cousins are another generation. And your grandchildren are yet another generation. Our family holiday get-together. My family usually comes together several times a year at a family member's house for a festive holiday dinner. This year, my relatives got together at my parents' house. My mom prepared a wonderful holiday meal with the help of my Aunt Mary and my sister-in-law Betty. My mom prepared a delicious roast beef and a roasted chicken along with an enormous mixed green salad. My Aunt Mary brought over her delicious creamy mashed potatoes and some glazed carrots and a large bowl of roasted Brussels sprouts. My sister-in-law Betty brought a large coconut custard pie, a delicious homemade carrot cake, and her award-winning cinnamon apple pie. My aunt and my sister-in-law also helped my mom serve the dinner and clean up afterwards, which is a big help to my mother. While the dinner was being prepared, my dad and my Uncle Joe watched television in the family room. When my sister-in-law Lori arrived, my brother-in-law Larry joined the men in the family room. Their young children, my niece Sandra and my nephew Mark, went outside to play in the yard. This year, my cousin Dave and his wife couldn't join us because of a prior commitment. My brother Sam picked up my grandparents at their house and chauffeured them to and from my parents' house since they don't drive anymore. My cousin Al, his wife Patty, and their teenage son Nick will be coming as well. Well, I hope you enjoyed Family Members in English. And remember, if you want help improving your English language skills, remember to click on the link in the description and check out Grandpa Grammar's English Speaking Workshop. Thank you very much.